Welcome to the Saints Sports Corner. We got a great show for today. We're going to be talking about draft week. It is draft week. We're going to be talking about all the possibilities the Saints have at their disposal to make a big splash in the NFL draft. We got a lot more of that on the Saints Sports Corner.
Yeah. Who that? Who that? Who that said they gon' beat them Saints? A win is a win by a mile or an inch. It's any given Sunday when we battling in the trenches. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Die hard even after an L. Still reppin' in my section, yelling outside the dome, going home. Who that? We that? Black and gold soul, that's my song. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Touchdown Saints putting points on the board is how my squad steady winning. Sacks on D, turnovers, wow, don't even think about. Coming back, it's already late in the fourth now. We that, who that, we that, who that, who that, who that. 4,000-yard QB, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,200-yard receiver, straight pressure. Lockdown corner, throw that ball if you want to. TFL's in the backfield, boy, we on you. Black and gold, so that's what I'm all about. Forget about the division, the Saints run the South. Who that, we that. Who that? We that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that?
Welcome in. You already know what it is, man. It's draft week finally here. Draft week is finally here, man. And we have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of rumors involving the Saints moving up to number 3, and that's the Arizona pick. There's been a lot of rumors of the Saints trading back. There's been a lot of rumors the Saints trying to get Jeremiah Love. There's been a lot of rumors the Saints trying to get Orville Reese. But here's the problem. The Saints do not have to move up to get a blue chip player. I repeat, the Saints do not have to move up to get a blue chip player. The Saints can stay pat and they can get a solid contributor for the 2026 season. The Saints do not have to move up. The Saints trying to move up means they have to give up draft capital. Giving up draft capital means that you are identifying a player that you think is going to contribute right away, and you're basically foregoing your next season's draft pick in order to get this player. Now, in some instances, that's warranted. In some instances, you can grab a player sort of like what Houston did when they got Will Anderson, and they came back right again and got another player like CJ Stroud. Like, you can do that and have a franchise altering draft. The problem with it is, if the Saints do that, they shouldn't be trying to move up to 3 to do that. There's going to be enough pass rushers where the Saints can get a pass rusher in this draft. There's going to be enough wide receivers where the Saints can get wide receivers in this draft. There's going to be enough running backs where the Saints can get an impact running back in this draft. This draft is loaded with defensive ends, running backs, and wide receivers. If there's any position that this draft has, running backs, wide receivers, and defensive ends. So the Saints can get all of these positions in later rounds. They do not have to move up. I don't know what Mickey's thinking. I don't know if this just a smoke screen for people to just have something to talk about close to the draft. I know this is Lions season still, even all the way up to the draft. We don't know whose team's picking until they make the picks. But at the same time, we have to entertain it because there's a lot of reports coming out, teams making calls. Now, the reports was that the Saints and Chiefs are making calls to the number 3 position. That means two things. Either they want Jeremiah Love or they want Arvell Reese, David Bailey. Now, me personally, when it comes to David Bailey and Arvell Reese, David Bailey is more of a pass rusher specialist. Arvell Reese is more of a project. I think if you take either one of those guys, you absolutely better be sure they can handle the NFL. Texas Tech defensive ends do not translate well to the NFL at all. Think about all the pass rushers that has come out from Texas Tech. They haven't been having monster careers. It's almost like the USC quarterback. Like, they do not translate well to the NFL. They just don't. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit scared of that. I'm a little bit scared that David Bailey is just going to be just like all the rest of the Texas Tech defensive ends that come out. I mean, they have a terrible track record of pedestrian defensive ends that get picked high in the draft. So, I don't think Mickey should make a move for no David Bailey. Not even Arvell Reese. Now, he's the prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker, but he can also play inside. I don't know if they're trying to draft a linebacker or an outside linebacker. I'm not sure because he can play both of those positions. But drafting a linebacker at 3 is crazy. It's absolutely bonehead crazy when you know you need a pass rusher. And he's more of a project. Like, he can do it, but you got guys like Caden Ellis, who just got signed, who can do the same things he do and has proven it on the next level. So I'm not so sure about, that Arvell Reese moving up to get Arvell Reese at 3. Jeremiah Love, I can understand. Big body, speedy, Adrian Peterson type. Not that he was as talented as AP, but I can get behind that. The problem with it is you just signed Travis Etienne. You just signed him. You still got Alvin Kamara. Like, you got a estimate came on late. Kendre Miller, what you do with that guy? Like, it's a log jam. You're just creating an even more log jam. And I get it. Kellen has to get his guys. But I don't foresee the Saints taking Jeremiah Love unless he falls to them. Now, I want to bring up a scenario that would make sense for the New Orleans Saints that maybe nobody's talking about. Now, I mentioned earlier to you about the Houston Texans and what they did with C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. I can see the Saints pulling off a trade like that in the first round and giving up future picks and being okay with it. I'm not mad at a trade like that. Let's play devil's advocate and say the Saints, let's say the Saints have between Ruben Bain, Jordan Tyson, and Delaney on the board at 8. Let's say if those are the web of players that the Saints have to choose from Thursday night, right? And Mickey is like, I need a shutdown corner, I need a pass rusher, and I need a wide receiver. And let's say, for instance, he drafts Jordan Tyson. Now, all of you are saying, like, why would he draft Jordan Tyson and he needs a pass rusher and he needs a cornerback? Well, you got Kansas City, who's a running back needy team, but they just signed a running back from Seattle. You also got a Kansas City team that needs a corner because they traded their corner. which means they know Mansur Delaney is going to be in that range. But you also got a Kansas City team that need wide receiver help to help Patrick Mahomes. And because the Saints want to double dip and they really do like Jordan Tyson, what if they go get Jordan Tyson at 8? The Chiefs take Mansur Delaney, and at 10 they trade up and they draft Ruben Bain. So you come out the draft with Jordan Tyson and Ruben Bain. You get 2 birds in one stone. 2 top tier a defensive end and a top tier wide receiver. I can't get mad at that. Because now what you're saying is we're trying to win, and we feel like we have the quarterback to win, and we feel like we have the team that can take the South next year. Or if Ruben Bain slips to 11, something like that, outside of the top 10. Or what if they take Ruben Bain and Kansas City drafts Jordan Tyson, and then they trade back in at the 10 pick and they get Mansur Delaney. And you leave with Ruben Bain and Mansur Delaney. 2 problems solved on defense. A nice defense for a young quarterback. Like, there's a lot of possibilities where a trade up would make sense. Trading a 3 is not one of them. I'm okay with the Saints double dipping. I may be in the minority. I'm okay with the Saints double dipping in the draft. What they double dip for has to make sense. If you leave out this thing with a combination of Ruben Bain and Jordan Tyson, Ruben Bain and Delaney and Tyson, Delaney and Ruben Bain, any one of those 3 combinations, the Saints had a slam dunk. All the rest of those picks don't matter. I know on day one, Tyson and Ruben Bain is going to wreak havoc in the NFL. Tyson and Ruben Bain have been the best player on their team for the better part of 2.5 years. You basically got the most consistent players in the draft. That's going to ball. So I'm not mad at that combination. The Saints double dipping in this year's draft would not surprise me. But it's how they double dip. If they just trade and draft picks to move up to get one guy, I ain't with it. I'm not with it. But if you're going to get 2, if you say, look, I need a shutdown corner and I need a wide receiver, and they come out here with both on day one, I ain't mad at that. Or I need a pass rusher and a bona fide stud number 1 wide receiver, I ain't mad at that. How can you be mad at that? That's identifying something you need and feeling like you got 2 top 5 picks. Because make no mistake about it, Ruben Bain and Jordan Tyson, minus little bitty concerns, should be top 5 picks. And any other year, they would be top 5 picks. So if the Saints come out here and say, I have identified in this year's draft 2 top 5 picks, knowing that I think I'm going to win the South next year and my pick is going to be a 2nd round pick, you cannot be mad at that one bit. The Saints grab 2 top 5 picks when next year that pick probably be somewhere in the 20s. They win that trade going away. 2 early contributors, 2 top 5 talents. How can you be mad at that? But trading up to get Jeremiah Love and Ariel Reese at 3 is not smart at all. It's ludicrous. 2 for 1? A 2 for 1? I'm with it. A 2 for 1, I am with it. But trading up to get one guy and giving up this team needs a lot of talent. They just do. And I'm interested to see what that looked like on a Jimmy Johnson trade value chart. I want to know. I think that can be a bona fide sleeper scenario for the Saints that many people are not talking about. What if Mickey just say, look, I know we need to make a bunch of picks, but I'm not so sure that we'll have the type of team going into next year that's going to be just as bad as we were this year. I foresee that we're going to be really good, and I foresee that I can nab two starters, top 5 talent, potential Pro Bowlers in this draft. And we all know the Saints is Pro Bowler deficient. The Saints are the most Pro Bowl deficient team in the NFL. They need Pro Bowlers. And any combination between one of those three, I'm not mad at. I am not mad at all. I think draft night is going to be more wild than we think. The good thing is, this might be one of the more interesting drafts in a long time, mainly because there's not a bunch of quarterbacks that teams are trying to move up to get. This is for the first time. You got the one quarterback that teams know, and then everything else is just up in smoke. I think this is going to be an exciting draft. And I think the Saints are going to do, I think the only way the Saints can like make a bone scratching play if they take an offensive lineman or a tight end. That would be the most, listen, that will send me, I don't even want to talk about it. That's how delirious it would be. Like delusional. Like you got to read the room. You need pass rushing, you need cover corners, and you need pass catching help. You got solid running back team. Running backs come a dime a dozen. They just do nowadays. So I'm looking forward to Mickey making a splash. I'm looking forward to Mickey just straight up playing the board. You know, hopefully he just doesn't move up, man. I got a team saying that they like Sonny Styles also. I mean, Sonny Styles, man. Nobody was talking about Sonny Styles. And like this dude just shot. I really can't stand when teams just start project. Like it was Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs. Yeah, Sonny Styles was a player, but nobody was talking about Sonny Styles. And you see a guy and you just think, oh my God, height, weight, speed guy. Listen, I think he could be a beast, but you got to follow the tape. He made some plays on tape. He's an athletic freak, but there's been so many athletic freaks that didn't hit. And not saying he's not, but come on. The Saints know what they need. They're in a great draft for what they need, and they just got to nab those players. They have to. Like, don't make it make sense would be the same. Like, make it make sense. And I think Mickey's going to do that. I'm interested to see how Kellen Moore continues to build his team, what direction they go in with their players. I think that's a big one, and nobody's talking about. He still have to build out his roster to his scheme so that he can get the type of players to make plays. So that'll be on the men too. We'll see what type of prototype. Same thing with the D coordinator. Same thing. Like Brandon Staley took this team and probably was the best coach on the whole staff last season. You could tell he was the most experienced coach because he had guys that's not top flight, no Pro Bowlers, balling outside of Cam Jordan and DeMario Davis. But he had these young guys absolutely in place to make plays. That's coaching. So I think to see the evolution of this defense under Brandon Staley, I'm excited about. That's why I'm banging the table for Ruben Bain. Because I think Brandon Staley having a guy like Aaron Donald and knowing what it takes to actually put guys in place to dominate, I think Ruben Bain shows up. Ruben Bain shows up when it matters most. And what's one thing that the Saints have a problem with? Getting crunch time sacks when it matters most. I mean, Ruben Bain to the Saints makes 100% sense. And if you watching tape and you saying, nah, I like another guy. If you like, Ruben Bain has been a guy since his sophomore year in Miami. He's been one of the best players on the team. You can't say that about David Bailey, Sonny Styles, or Arvell Reese. Some of them wasn't even on the field. But guess who was? Ruben Bain. Mansour Delaney. Another guy I'm sure they're high on. How does he fit being an outside corner? I don't think they want to draft him to be a slot corner. And what does that do for guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry? We seen Kool-Aid struggle in the slot. We did. We haven't really seen Quincy Riley in the slot too much. But he held his own on the outside corner. So that's a little weird projection for them three. But you still can draft a slot corner and just have those guys rotate out. I mean, you can never have enough corners. So we'll see. Losing Alontae Taylor, we'll see how they make the transition. I'm interested to see how they make the transition. But I think draft night is going to be absolutely bonkers, man. Absolutely bonkers, man. But I think the Saints' web of players will be. And I'm not sure. Guys, I'm not so sure Sonny Styles is going to go before 7. That's just my opinion. But it might be a web of players of Sonny Styles, Delaney, Ruben Bain, and Jordan Tyson. That's not an easy decision for Mickey Loomis. I can tell you right now, for me, that's not an easy decision. But if I'm going to take any player, it's going to be Jordan Tyson or Ruben Bain. And Jordan Tyson looked damn good. Jordan Tyson on the other side of Chris Olave? Man, that's demon time. That is demon time. And then you got guys like Vele in the slot, like with the Marcus Colston type. What? Jawan Johnson, Jalen Pope. Man, this team might could be something serious. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm bringing out the double dip. I'm not so sure Mickey might not double dip. And I might be the Lone Ranger on this topic. I might be the Lone Ranger on this topic, but it makes sense. If there's any draft scenario that's wild that makes sense, Mickey coming out the draft with two top 10 picks to be exact, is not so far-fetched. I'm going to put the trade value chart up and see what it takes on this podcast and see what it takes to get a top 10 pick, the 10th pick and the 8th pick in this draft. They already have the 8, but let's see what it takes to move to 10. What would it cost the Saints? Because I'm telling you, it makes sense. I don't think Ruben Bain is a valuable option for Kansas City. I think they'll go Delaney from losing the corner that they lost. Which means the Saints come out here with 2 top 5 talents. That is playing chess, folks, while everybody else playing checkers. It just makes too much sense. Now, would the team at 10 be willing to give up? Be willing to give up Ruben Bain? I wouldn't. But you never know. It's a wild draft. That's what makes the draft special. You just never know. And I think we're going to be entertained. Man. Yes, I do. I think we're going to be entertained when it's coming to draft. I'm excited. I'm ready for it to roll around. I'm ready for all of the info, the rumors, the I know a guy type stories to be over with. I can't stand when people I got sourced, man. Screw your sources. Because every time somebody got sources, the Saints do the exact opposite. You know? So, yeah. just a short pod. It's Monday morning. You know, we got a few more days left, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints double dip, man. That's the topic of the day. Can the Saints come out this draft with 2 top 5 talents instead of moving up to 3 and giving up draft capital for 1 player? I think it's possible. And I think it's more possible than we realize. But like I said, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all keep rocking with me, man. I appreciate y'all's support. I appreciate everything y'all do. I appreciate y'all for watching the Saints Sports Corner. And as always, make sure y'all have a good day. I'm out.